political crisis in Virginia is escalating yet again. Now the state's top 3 Democrats are all engulfed in scandals tonight, as today the state's Democratic Attorney General disclosed he wore blackface once in college. And breaking tonight, a senior Democratic congressman admitted just over an hour ago that he learned about the allegation of sexual assault being made against Democratic Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, but appears to have done nothing. He learned about it about a year ago. Well, Congressman Bobby Scott now says he's known the female accuser for about a decade and, quote, she deserves the opportunity to have her story heard. Also new tonight, the accuser is breaking her silence with graphic details. Those problems for the Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General may shed new light on why the top man, Governor Ralph Northam, has been refusing to resign after his own blackface scandal. Kristen Fisher has you covered with all the late breaking news out of the Old Dominion. Plus, liberal Senator Elizabeth Warren's upcoming formal presidential announcement already overshadowed as brand new developments come to light about her claim of Native American ancestry. She's just the latest Democratic presidential hopeful embarking on the 2020 apology tour in a field expected to grow even bigger this weekend. Hello and welcome to Fox News at Night. I'm Ed Henry, in again for Shannon Bream. We begin tonight with correspondent Kristen Fisher, as I promised, the latest on what is nothing short of political disaster for Democrats in Virginia. Good evening, Kristen.
Boy, it sure is, Ed. And
Take a deep breath.
One of the more remarkable aspects of this story, and there's a lot of them, but one of the more remarkable ones is that Virginia's Attorney General has now admitted to doing the very same thing that he said Governor Northam should resign over just 4 days ago. Here's a statement from Attorney General Mark Herring. He says, quote, in 1980, when I was a 19-year-old undergraduate in college, some friends suggested we attend a party dressed like rappers. We listened to at the time. It sounds ridiculous even now writing it, but because of our ignorance and glib attitudes, we dressed up and put on wigs and brown makeup. Well, Virginia's Democratic senators were stunned.
I'm shocked and incredibly disappointed. This has been an awful week for Virginia.
This week has just made me sick. You know, it's just made me sick. From Friday to now, it's just been one bit of bad news after the next, and it's all been shocking.
As for Governor Northam, he's still weighing whether or not to resign after admitting that he too wore blackface. Many congressional Democrats have already called for his resignation, while others are reserving judgment.
We ought to let due process take its course, and then we ought to then act once that's done. Take all these allegations seriously, investigate them, and then make a decision afterwards.
And then there's the Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, who's facing sexual assault accusations from 2004. And just 2 hours ago, ABC News reported that Virginia Democratic Congressman Bobby Scott was aware of those allegations over a year ago when he was made aware of those allegations by the alleged victim herself. Fairfax describes the encounter as consensual, but today his accuser put out a statement that said, quote, what began as consensual kissing quickly turned into a sexual assault. Mr. Fairfax put his hand behind my neck and forcefully pushed my head towards his crotch. As I cried and gagged, Mr. Fairfax forced me to perform oral sex on him. Well, Fairfax responded by saying, I wish her no harm or humiliation, nor do I seek to denigrate her or diminish her voice, but I cannot agree with the description of events that I know is not true. And in a sign of the times, Fairfax has now retained the same law firm that represented Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Fairfax's accuser has hired the same law firm that represented Christine Blasey Ford. So there is a lot to unpack there. And just to recap, there are now calls for the top 3 Democrats in Virginia to resign. And if they do, that would mean that the Speaker of the House of Delegates, who's a Republican, would become Virginia's next governor. It is a bad day to be a Virginia Democrat.
He won his seat by a coin flip because it was literally a coin flip between a Republican and Democrat. And so now a Republican, if all of this falls apart, could become the governor. It is truly incredible. Kristen, thanks for staying on top of it.
Thanks.
All right.